There are so many dark, hidden crevices here on YouTube, and today we're going through some of the creepiest. So if you're tired of just watching, your standard horror movies, why not give some of these channels a try and not sleep tonight? Starting off our list today, we have the YouTube channel of Robert Helpmann, who in 2016 posted 12 videos that appeared to depict something super creepy. 2 of these videos have since been taken down. Honestly, just looking at the thumbnails for this channel's videos gave me the creeps, but I watched all 10 because I had to do this. Gotta say, these videos are effectively unsettling, just haunted. That's the perfect word to describe it. The first video, titled Daisy Arrives, shows a room with walls covered up by sheets and an empty chair. You also have this distorted, old-timey music playing in the background, and then what appears to be a dead body in a garbage bag appears sitting in the chair. Second video, Daisy and Friends. Daisy is sitting in the corner of a room next to what looks like a filing cabinet. You hear the sound of flies buzzing in the air, no music this time. The following videos are pretty similar, each one is about 40 to 60 seconds, but the last 3, Daisy Playing, Daisy Makes a Mess, and Daisy Leaves, are different than the others. In Daisy Playing, Daisy can be seen in front of a door in an upright position with her feet dangling above the ground, and then a man holding a blade walks into the frame. In Daisy Makes a Mess, that same man carries Daisy over to the counter and puts her down, and in Daisy Leaves, Daisy is seen lying by a door, and then in the next frame the door is open and Daisy is no longer there. Then the man walks into the frame. Now, could this just be a creepy art project? For sure, but that doesn't take away from how genuinely freaky these videos are. I subscribed. So this next channel is both hilarious and disturbing at the same time. More specifically, the videos started out with this strange, surrealist type of humor, but descended into this pure nightmare world by the end. The channel is called Alantutorial, whose last video went up about 9 years ago. A buddy of mine showed me this channel about a month back, and at points I wasn't sure if I wanted to laugh or squirm uncomfortably in my seat. Mostly I was just doing both. The channel basically started as a mockery of all the pointless tutorial videos we see on YouTube, only Alantutorial would post incredibly pointless tutorials like how to turn your mail into a square or how to fill a tiny bin with dirt. The videos were always shot in POV with Alan's frantic commentary behind the camera, really funny stuff. But as the videos went on, they got darker and darker. Alantutorial started filming in these increasingly grungy environments, and the tutorials, which used to be pointless and wacky, were now becoming completely inexplicable, with the titles of the videos looking like weird codes or file names. Then we get to his final video, simply entitled Tutorial. Misspelled, of course. This video is simply horrifying. Alantutorial is in this dark room filled with garbage. He frantically runs around the room muttering to himself and repeating the word tutorial over and over again. We also get these quick glimpses of what looks like pieces of meat rolling around. I don't know how to describe it. Next up, we have a YouTube channel called Deeper. I finally found it. I first found out about this channel years and years ago, and I wanted to talk about it ever since I started here. The channel is very mysterious. All the videos are generally of low quality, kind of found footage horror style. A lot of it is just shots of old dirty rooms, stairwells, empty fields, all set to some pretty unsettling and distorted audio and music. The creepiest video though is one where it's all these shots of a person or persons in this dark room cleaning what looks to be human remains. We also get a couple of shots of a plastic barrel which rocks back and forth as if something or someone is stuck inside it. Now things get even creepier though. At first it seemed as though the videos were completely random, but it turns out they may not have been. Some of them actually seem to contain coded messages and riddles, one of which was solved to reveal the names of real-life people, 3 women who were killed in Colorado by an unknown assailant. So was the creator just messing with people, or were they responsible for killing those women? User 9472. This is the first channel on the list that is almost impossible to describe. It's a perfect example of analog horror. The channel consists of short, disjointed pieces of lo-fi footage. Some of it is strange, some of it is relatively innocuous. All of it is creepy though, and it's hard to say exactly why. There's nothing on this channel, like in Deeper, where you have footage of BLOOD being wiped off a cold basement floor or anything like that, but the images in these videos are just so hard to describe. It's that fear of the unknown that makes this channel so disturbing. You have videos that are just a series of images of people with distorted faces, for example, or a 6.5-minute image of a faceless woman in an open field wearing a wedding dress. A lot of the imagery here feels like the type of stuff you'd see in your nightmares. There's familiar aspects to what you're seeing, but it's all slightly off and distorted. Next up, we have the YouTube channel of Russ McKamey, the man who took the phrase haunted house to a whole new level. In 2010, Russ McKamey uploaded his first YouTube video under the name McKamey Manor. It was an advertisement for a haunted house. His haunted house. Not only that, but it was and still is, I suppose, incredibly disturbed. If I were to describe McKamey Manor in 5 words: sadistic, twisted, sick, psycho, torment. Now why? Well, because Russ McKamey essentially opened a physical and psychological torment experience in his backyard. An experience which he often documents on YouTube, but of course not all of it, because a lot of the things that take place inside of this haunted house you just can't show here on YouTube without getting all the flags. Russ has been known to waterboard, force feed, cut, and even apparently break the bones of his participants. And some people who have visited the house have even claimed to have been forced to take illicit substances during the experience as well. In order to visit the manor, a person is required to sign a 40-page waiver and bring a bag of dog food, which isn't as bad as it sounds. He actually just has dogs. Memory Hole is another YouTube channel that toes that line between comedy and genuine horror. The group behind this channel also ran one called Everything is Terrible. Both channels are similar. It's all this found footage cobbled together into these nightmarish collages. The story behind the channel is pretty interesting too. So the people behind it somehow got access to all these old VHS tapes that had been sent into America's Funniest Home Videos. The thing is, all these tapes were rejected because they were either too strange, too lurid, too whatever, or just plain unfunny. But, you know, one person's trash is another person's whatever this is. Next up, we got MeatSleep, also known as just Meat. This channel started in March of 2014, and it posted a total of 93 videos. And although I didn't watch every single one of them, like I did for the Robert Helpmann channel, I did watch a few, and yeah, these are pretty haunted. The videos are all short, creepy clips that a lot of people think could have been taken from the dark web. Videos of dark basements, abandoned hospitals, and dirty bathrooms with jump scares and chilling music, all alluding to a real-life crime. That's what makes up the entirety of the page's content, and so naturally, people began to speculate as to whether or not the channel was some kind of elaborate hoax or an anonymous confession. In one video, the filmmaker alludes to performing a lobotomy on someone they had been holding against their will. Eventually, the channel went on to even post a video of a real-life dead body at a real-life crime scene that had been cordoned off by police. And after that, one of a suspicious piece of meat possibly belonging to a human being fried up on the stove. The videos are really unsettling, whether or not it's all just an art piece of some kind. Gooseworx is a pretty harmless channel at first glance. The channel description reads, "I'm Gooseworx. I make music and cartoons." And that's accurate. And most of the stuff wouldn't really fall into the cursed content category, except for one series of videos they did called The Blue Channel, which is firmly in that analog horror genre. Now, I've mentioned analog horror a couple times now, so I should probably explain what it is. Analog horror embraces all the aesthetics of like VHS tapes and cassette tapes, old TV broadcasts, and then combines it with disturbing imagery, creating this really surreal, unsettling atmosphere. The scariest video in the Blue Channel series is a video entitled Blue Channel Thalassin. The whole thing is presented like an old infomercial for a medication called thalassin, which is described as a medication that's used to treat a made-up condition called advanced emotional deterioration, or AED. Now, as the video goes on, it descends into something purely nightmarish. The narrator starts listing off a series of emotions that the medication can aid in, accompanied by drawings of these emotions on a man's face. And it's pretty standard stuff, right? Happiness, sadness, anger, relief. But then it just changes. The narrator asks the audience, are you tired of only experiencing natural emotions? The ad then becomes about Thalassin Plus, which allows for an extended palette of emotions, which the narrator starts listing off, still accompanied by these series of drawings of the man's face, only now it takes on these horrifically distorted forms. Alright, next on our list we have not so much a YouTube channel, but a YouTube epidemic known as Elsagate. I remember seeing some of these videos back in the day and just feeling really uncomfortable about them. The fact that they're targeted at youngsters but have some disturbing stuff going on, especially in the animated ones that looked like some kind of algorithm had been generating them. This was before AI videos were a thing, but there was still talk that it could have been the case. Anyway, what is Elsagate? Well, it's a controversy surrounding YouTube channels and videos geared towards a younger audience. While on the surface the content appears to be harmless and relatively wholesome, it's not. In 2016, it was brought to parents' attention that many of the family-friendly videos their little ones had been watching online had a dark underside to them. Videos of adults dressing up like beloved movie characters and cartoon animation videos geared towards the younger generation were popping up all over YouTube. The only problem was a lot of them contained extremely questionable content, like flashes of violence or intimate adult activity, with some videos even going so far as to tell young ones to misbehave or even harm themselves or others. Not only were these videos popular, but some of them were actually being shown on YouTube Kids, a YouTube app that generally only allows family-friendly content. So in 2017, YouTube did an investigation into a bunch of these channels and removed them from the platform, but they still do pop up every now and again, and there's lots of channels like them. Next up, we have Cool 3D World, which is just exquisite. I loved this channel and have loved it for years. As a big fan of whacked out late night adult swim shows like Tim and Eric, this channel is just my kind of jam. But it really pushes surrealism into this whole other territory. Cool 3D World is like a David Lynch fever dream. These videos manage to be disturbing, disgusting, intriguing, and yet oddly touching at times. It's really very impressive. Now, how do I describe Cool 3D World? Well, I don't know if I can. There's really no way other than to show you some of these images and say that his videos are these computer animated shorts featuring hideously deformed, usually greasy people and freaky monsters. He's created this very cool 3D world. More like an unsettling 3D world, to be fair though. Well, with all that said, I've been your host James, and I'll catch you, yes you specifically, in the next video.